And it's lights out and away we go. We get a little bit of wheel spin off the line, and we've got an awful start again, and I don't know how that's happened. We've already been passed by cars there, these double right-handers. He's got a little bit wide. We're going to actually head up the inside here. We're behind Nigel Mansell, we're quite far back. We're actually going to try and move down the inside though, but it's not really working. As we go around the outside, Winklehawk is trying to make a move down the inside, but we've got traffic in front of this, turning in slightly, and there's been contact there between us and DeAngelis, and DeAngelis has cut the corner. In the end, we're shaking our wheel in frustration. We missed out on third. Hey guys, Mac here, and welcome back to the Ayrton Senna crew on rFactor. We're here at the Autodromo Enzo Edino Ferrari for the San Marino Grand Prix, and it's probably my favourite track on the calendar, to be honest. It's an absolute classic on the calendar. It was raced up to about 2006 on an altered version of this current track that I'm driving on. And they obviously changed it because of safety reasons, because the track was pretty dangerous. There's not a lot of runoff and it's an extremely fast and flowing circuit, but it's probably my favourite track to drive on. But we're in the last sector now, heading through the Variante Bassa corners and into the last chicane. I actually hopped over the last chicane and track extended. I'm probably going to gain a bit of time there, and I do actually set the quickest time in the practice. So heading into qualifying now, I'm a little bit behind Alain Prost at the moment on track, and I'm heading into the Rivazza double left-handers. It's a pretty nice series of corners in the last sector. I'm not getting held up at the moment, but I'm getting a little bit of dirty air as we head into this really quick chicane now, and Alain Prost is starting to hold us up now. He's going extremely slowly, and we do actually hit him as he heads into the pits. And the thing about the pit lane here is that you've got to go extremely slowly on the racing line after a really quick corner to actually to get into the pits. But heading into the Tosa hairpin at the lap after that, and I actually spin the car because of the race damage and the car damage, and it became pretty hard to drive with that damage actually after hitting Alain Prost. But heading into the Acqua Minerale chicane, and I actually almost flipped the car. I'm on two wheels there, heading out of the chicane. I actually almost lose it because this car on low fuel is an absolute handful to drive. Heading into another chicane now, and you can just see any application of the throttle just causes the car to squirm a lot. I'm starting to come up behind a few other cars. I think it's Belov, Piquet and Hisno, and they're definitely holding me up now. It's a pack of three cars just holding me up so much, and I can't get past them because this track's really, really narrow. And you can just see Piquet is just not letting me pass, so I back off and save a little bit of time. But next lap, we're heading into the Tosa hairpin. I do actually hit Piquet heading into that hairpin, and I guess that was my fault because I was taking too much speed in there, but they were going extremely slow. You're going to see a replay here. I head onto the grass and they just slow up so much, and I head right into the back of them, and I tried to slow the car down across the grass, but I do accidentally hit Hesno. And on my 8th lap of qualifying, I'm 1.1 seconds up on myself, so it's going to be a pretty nice lap. I'm also up on the person in pole, but I actually lose the car heading onto that curb, and I don't know how that happened. I must have been on the curb far too much or something. But my quickest lap of qualifying actually came right at the start of this session. It was my first lap that I completed in this session, and I'd have to say it wasn't too bad lap, but it was a little bit scruffy. But I'm going to leave you onboard and offboard shots of it, so enjoy. So after ending that pretty scrappy lap and finishing off the session, I actually managed to qualify in 5th, which I guess is the best starting position of the year so far, and I guess it isn't too bad. We're in a Tolman, and we're up there with some pretty damn good cars, but I think my pace around here in qualifying and hopefully race as well is pretty damn good. But we're now going to head over to race day for the 1984 San Marino Grand Prix. So it's race day and we're on the grid now, just waiting for the lights to come on. It's 1 light, 2 light, 3 lights. We're hopefully not going to get a bad start. And again we get a bad start. We got a lot of wheel spin there. We're already getting passed by a lot of cars there. We're getting passed by Mansell, Alboreto, De Angelis, our rivals in the season so far. And it's a very long run to turn 2. Tamburello here is completely flat. It's basically just an extension of the straight. And you can just see our straight line speed isn't that good, but we're hopefully going to challenge into this corner. We're looking to the outside of Thierry Boutsen in the Arrows car. Hopefully making a move around the outside, and I think we've just got the traction to do that, and yes we do. So we've gone around the outside of Boutsen at Tosa, and we're now going to head behind Michele Alboreto in the Ferrari at Piratella. We're heading through the corner, but it's been an accident and we've just about avoided it, and that was a pretty crazy accident that just happened right in front of us. I had to slam on the brakes just to avoid that, otherwise we would have been involved in that accident. But I believe Alboreto is out, and I believe De Angelis is out as well. I'm not quite sure now. We need to see a replay of the accident, but it was a pretty huge accident between those 2 drivers. Could have taken 2 drivers right out of the race there. Not quite sure who was at fault, but I think De Angelis was. But we're going to see a replay of the start now. You can just see how much rubber we lay down right off the start. A few cars get past us already before Tamburello. At this point our straight line speed problem kicks in, as we've not got a very powerful engine. Boutsen heads around or outside at Tamburello. It isn't a very difficult corner, it's flat out, and these cars have enough downforce to go around there pretty easily. Heading down into Tosa, now we go to the outside as Boutsen's on the inside, and we've got the grip levels to actually go right around the outside, which was pretty nice actually. Heading down to Piratella now, and you're going to see the accident up ahead, and it is absolutely huge between these 2 drivers. You can see De Angelis, I think he avoids the wall, but you're going to see an onboard from Alboreto. You're going to see what his view was like, and De Angelis just goes off track and he just comes right back onto track into the path of Alboreto, and you can see our car going by there as well as the other cars in the race, and I believe De Angelis is still in the race though. Heading on to lap 2 now, we've got Thierry Boutsen right behind our rear wing. Got a much better run at the last corner of that last chicane, and he's got a much better engine as well, so I think he'll be able to pass us right here because he's got a much better top speed as well. And he heads right around our outside at Tamburello, just like he did at the start of the race, and you can just see the top speed difference between us and Boutsen. I'm going to head for another move around his outside. Hopefully this will work again. He tries to squeeze us onto the grass. There's a little bit of contact between us two, and hopefully I've got enough traction, but I'm not quite as good in the throttle as was at the start of the race, and he gets much better traction out of the Tosa hairpin. Heading down to Piratella now. Hopefully there's not going to be a huge accident like there was at the start of the race. He's gone a little bit wide, and this could allow us an opportunity to go up the inside, and yes, we do take that opportunity. We go into the Acro Minerale chicane, and that is the move completed. Now we're behind the 1983 world champion Nelson Piquet. It won't be as easy to get past him, as the Brabham is quite a quick car in a straight line. But heading down into another chicane, we've gone down the inside. He's getting held up by Niki Lauda ahead. Lauda's had a pretty bad start. He was on pole, but he's actually dropped down, I believe, into 4th position now, so he's had a pretty awful start. But heading down to rFactor now, and Piquet for some reason was just braking like in the middle of the corner, as you can see a car was getting flipped out. But I'm not sure what Piquet was doing there. As we head round Lauda there in the McLaren, we're down on his inside now for the next corner. We actually go down the inside of 2 cars there, so that's 2 cars in just 1 corner, and we're now elevated into 3rd in the race. But we're going to see a replay of the move which took us up into 3rd place in the race. We're on the inside of Niki Lauda now, and Mansell opens the door as well, so we just decide to take the opportunity to move him to 3rd, because if you no longer go for a gap, you know the rest of the quote. And we're now behind Tombe and Winkelhock, heading into Piratella again, and you can see they've extended a little bit of a gap, but we're gaining on them in the corners and under braking, and they're getting held up off each other, and we've got a little bit of a tank slapper, but they've opened the door on the inside. We're heading down into Acro Minerale, and we've headed into 1st place in the race, and that is the race lead for us, and hopefully we can keep it in the next few laps. We're going to see a replay here. They're holding each other up, and we get a massive tank slapper heading over the crest, and we just decide to take that opportunity to head to the race lead. And you can see a few laps later we've extended the race lead to over 11 seconds, so our pace here is absolutely awesome. Niki Lauda's moved up into 2nd in the race. He's got past Winkelhock and Tombe, and probably he'll probably be our biggest contender in this race for the race win. But you can see the pit light is on in our car. We've actually decided to pit a little bit early. We actually underfueled the car for the first stint, but I believe the gap to the cars behind is probably about 15 seconds at the moment. So yeah, our pace is it's probably, we're top 3 pace at the moment, if not quickest car in the race. But you can see in our pit box, our teammate has decided to pit at the same time, so that's going to hold us up. And we're heading into our pit box now. We lose a little bit of time because we just don't go on the marks right. I'm going to skip forward this bit because it's 37 seconds long. Obviously, there's a bit of a glitch with the fuel, but I decided to repair a little bit of damage I got in the race. I'm not quite sure how I got damaged. I got the best lap in the race, but it's going to be interesting to see whether Niki Lauda actually is going to come out ahead of us at the moment. I believe he pitted on lap 7 or something, or he's not pitted, but yeah, he's come out ahead of us in the race, and because of our teammate being in the same pit box as us and us pitting at the same time as him, we've lost the race lead, so we now have to catch up to Niki Lauda, but he's gone a little bit wide at Peratella, and we're probably not going to make a move, but we are going to make a move actually into Aqua Merlawi. There's a bit of contact. I guess that was a pretty crap overtake, to be honest. So I'm going to let Niki Lauda back through here. It was a pretty bad move. I guess he opened the door a lot, but yeah, it just was sort of half-hearted move from me. It was from pretty far back, and I did cut the corner quite a lot, so I do let him pass. It's a bit unfair to really just barge through every AI driver. You can see I let him pass here, but I don't lose too much time. Very into Toza behind Niki Lauda in the McLaren on lap 10 of the race. There's not many laps in the race left. We've actually managed to keep up with Lauda despite him being in the best car on the grid. He's in the McLaren, which is easily the best car on the grid. And that, I guess that just highlights our pace, but he's gone wide there, and that's allowed us to go right the way past. And I guess we just pressured him into a mistake, and he eventually cracked. But as a 2-times world champion at this point, cracking under pressure, we didn't even need to overtake him or make a real overtake him. He just cracked under pressure and went wide. So that's gifted us the position, but we're now caught with just a lap to go, and there's a bit of a glitch at the bottom of the screen. We're actually on lap 15 at the moment. I was 16, and we're going down the inside of Patrese. We're trying to go down the inside of Patrese, but he's just holding us up, and we're lapping Patrese, but he's just not giving up. And the gap to Lauda, that's 2.1 seconds, but if we make a mistake, if we crash into a driver like we did in Belgium, we're going to lose this race, and we can't have that happening. But we're now behind another driver, not quite sure which driver this is, but he's holding us up so much, and it's just so painful to see a driver hold us up like that, especially with a 2-times world champion in the best car right behind us. And I don't want to lose this race, just like I did in Belgium, where we got held up by lap traffic. Managed to get past cleanly there. I'm trying not to rush too much through this lap traffic, because I don't want to hit a car and basically retire in the last lap of this race. We get past Marcus Winkelhock there, I believe, in the ATS, the yellow and black ATS, heading to the chicane now. There's not many cars left, or not many turns left on this lap to go, and this is the last lap of the race, so it's looking like we're going to win this race. It's a surprise win in the San Marino Grand Prix. Lauda's still getting head up. He heads up the inside for Ravazza. There's just probably 4 or 5 corners to go, and I don't think Lauda's close enough, so it looks like we're going to win the San Marino Grand Prix. It's just a few more corners to go. We're heading through here. We're not going to push too much, but we head through the last corner, and it looks like we've won this race. And yes, we have. We have won the San Marino Grand Prix. So what an incredible race that was. We managed to actually win it. Our pace was good enough to win the race, and that makes it 4 different winners in the first 4 races. So it's starting to turn out like the 2012 F1 season. You can see in the lead of the championship, Niki Lauda in the McLaren. He's been pretty consistent for the past 3 races. First, second, despite that retirement, or I think it was a retirement in Brazil, but he is in the lead of the championship, and we're in 3rd. Looking at the Constructors' Championship, then we have McLaren in a really dominant position at the top there with 27 points, 10 points ahead of Ferrari. Most surprising bit of this table, we're in 3rd. Just because of that win, I think it's 9 points or 10 points for a win. I think it's 9. So we jump right up there. We're past Williams, Lotus and Brabham. So yeah, that's really, really surprising. And I don't know how we actually managed to win that, but I guess our race pace in that race was really good, and the quality pace wasn't as good, so I need to work on that for the next race. Maybe try and get pole, but it wasn't to do with setup. I didn't change the setup really at all. I was just pushing my heart out in that race. And I guess my natural pace around Imola is not bad, especially against this AI. So I'm hoping the next race is even better than this one. To be honest, it's another European circuit. I've not actually driven around this circuit before. It's a new circuit to me, so hopefully that'll be as good. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll see you later.